some of my Republican friends.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a good day. Happy Wednesday. Give it a few minutes for people to join and then we'll get started. Good morning. As you're joining, go ahead. We're going to need Canvas open today because we are going to be submitting an assignment. We're going to register for Everfi today. So I'm going to walk you through that step by step and stuff. So you will want to have Canvas open today. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning. If you're just joining, good morning, everybody. If you're just joining, you're going to want to have Canvas open. We are going to be doing the Everfi registration today, which I'll explain what that is and stuff. So I'm going to walk you through it, and then you'll submit it in Canvas. You will want to have Canvas open today. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week. Hope everybody's doing all right. I'll give another minute or two, let people join, and then we'll get started. I should finish a little bit early today, so I know that'll just devastate you all, right? I mean, the idea of finishing early, that's just horrible. So, and stuff. But yeah, we should finish a little bit early today. No, I know, right? No, don't finish class early. That's so mean. How dare you? Oh, thank you. Yes, it's very like fall wintry. So I'm kind of obsessed with the Target like sweatshirts right now. I think I have it in like 3 or 4 colors. Anybody else, like you find something you like and say you buy it in like multiple colors? Or is that just me? Oh, tie-dye? You love tie-dye? Nice. Nice. Oh, so many trends are coming back in, like, I can even keep up, but, like, I swear I walk through the store and I, like, see things and I'm like, "I remember when I used to wear that." You know you're getting old when. Okay, so similar, but okay, but you tend to go for the same type of clothing? All black and blue. Nice. Hey, you find your color, right? I'm a neutrals person, so like my okay, I'm a little bit hyper about organization. So good morning, Lucy. So I have like the cream section, the brown section, the blacks, the grays, the like the color, and stuff. And I have way too many of each color of shirt, different styles. But yes, I tend to do that, like buy similar things and but different colors. And as my husband said, he's like, "Are we gonna get any real color in here?" And I'm like, No, no, right? I'm like, it's kind of, creams to the grays to the browns to the black. I'm a neutral person. Yes, I am so neutrals. Because here's the thing: when I've gone bold, I look back on those pictures and I'm like, what was I thinking? Neutrals, almost never. I'm like, see, I had it together back then. I have it together now. I must just be amazing. So I know though it's boring in the moment, right? Like colors, but yeah, I tend to lean toward the neutrals. Even in like my home decor, I'm pretty neutral and stuff. So my husband all the time, he's like, "Are you gonna bring any color?" I'm like, "I bring the color with my personality. Aren't I enough?" And then he agrees, like, "Yes, you are enough. You are more than enough." Again, some people just love the color. And I have a friend, her house is really bright and she does a really good job with it and it's really nice. I just like neutrals. Yeah. Yes, I just, personality types, stuff like that. I just lean toward the neutrals. Calming, probably because I am a bit of a type A. So I'm a little bit, I've been told that I'm extra before. And I was like, why, thank you. Thank you. What a compliment. If anybody ever tells you you're extra, just say, that is so nice of you. Thank you. Then they look at you like that dog. So I don't know. I felt like he represented how I feel this morning. Pug, a little bit lagging, middle of the week, need a little, let's go. We got this. My neighbors have two bulldogs and they're so cute. One of them is like definitely chunky. And when he walks, it's like watching this sway. Oh, of course. Yeah. Anytime. Of course. Happy to help. So sway, but they tend to snore. Do any of you have like smash nose dogs? The ones that like the smash snout, like pugs or bulldogs or Frenchies, anything like that. I hear they snore really bad. All right, we'll get started. Like I said, we should finish early today. We're kind of transitioning. So we're transitioning out of module 8 and we're going into module 9. We're gonna start module 9 tomorrow. So I thought today would be a good day just to kind of take it easy, transition, go over a couple things, and then get our Everfi registration done, which I'll walk you through, which is technically due next week, but we've got some time today. So I'll just walk you through it step by step. So that way it's done. Okay. So I thought for a good bell ringer, before you answer the question, what is your favorite holiday to celebrate? Remember how like a week or two ago we were doing like kind of different random days, and talked about, I think it was a bootlegger day and thank someone day. Almost every day is something, right? So I thought I would share with you. So what is today? So let's take a look at today. All right. So this link it tells you basically the holidays of every day. All right. So today is Laugh and Get Rich Day. I could get on board with that get rich part. Okay. Molasses Day. All right. I've never had a molasses bar. I don't know that molasses is one of those things that has to be done right. Otherwise I don't like it. I don't know. That's kind of weird. National Boy Scouts Day. Let's see. National Iowa Farm Day. All right. Hey, we need those farms for our goods and crops and meat and, things like that. The Midwest is a big part of that. National Kite Flying Day. We could actually participate in this. Sometimes it gets windy, right, around here. Opera Day. Oh, so Pristine Day, Proposal Day. Who knows? Maybe a bunch of people are going to get engaged today instead of on Valentine's Day. I don't know. Okay, and then it'll list like a bunch of people's birthday. But I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, there's a lot of things going on today. Like almost every day, there's something going on. So, what is Stan? Stan Marsh from South Park Day. I agree. We need a Stan Marsh. Actually, I think he's on one of my lower slides. Or not Stan, his dad is on one of my slides. So what is your favorite holiday? Tell me what your favorite holiday is. It could be any holiday you just like to celebrate. Good morning, Miss Carter. How are you?
I'm quite well, thank you.
Good. We're talking about holidays. So, what is our favorite holiday? So, what is your favorite? Halloween. Nice. Is it the dressing up or the candy or the theme? What is it that you like, Dream? Halloween? Oh, okay. We're a Halloween class. I like Earth Day because it's your birthday. Hey, double whammy. Celebrate the earth and you, right? Thanksgiving. Okay, the vibe. A lot of people said Thanksgiving last period because of the eating. Yeah, the eating. Okay, eating was a big one. I think for me, it's probably Christmas. Okay, the food. The food, nice. National Apple Turnover Day, nice, nice. Okay, Halloween. You like things that are spooky, Miss Carter. All right, nice, nice. Mine's probably Christmas. I'm one of those crazies that like puts up my Christmas tree right after Halloween, like November 1st. Like it's like, ta-da! You're in a winter wonderland. You know, like the next weekend, I'm like, my husband like, go put the lights up. He's like, nobody has them up yet. I'm like, get out there. We gotta be the first ones. So I'm a little crazy about that. Thanksgiving, yes, a lot of people. Okay, nice. It's your birthday also, and apple turnovers are delicious. Yes, apple turnovers are absolutely delicious, and your birthday is absolutely worth celebrating. So yes, I love it when things align, right? That's awesome. All right, so we're definitely a Halloween class and Thanksgiving. Anybody else? Any other random holidays? I heard all kinds last period, 4th of July because of fireworks, Hanukkah, a lot of Thanksgiving. Nobody mentioned Halloween. So you guys are definitely it's funny how there'll be like themes and classes, you know. So you guys are in my Halloween class, I guess. Anybody else? I did have a bunch of people say my birthday celebrating me. I was like, hey, nothing like self-love, okay? You know, it's all good. Christmas probably my favorite. I would have to probably say my kids' birthdays. I think that always makes me like super sentimental and like a little emotional. I'm like, oh, you know, especially when you birth them and you're like, ah,
Gives
like
it a whole new meaning, huh?
right.
Birthday.
I think of like Lion King is like, ah, you know, like look what I
Well,
did. So yes, April Fool's Day. Okay, watch out, it's coming. I gotta watch out for you, Brandon. Right? To get creative and online. All right, April Fool's Day. That's always a fun one. I've had some students do some interesting things over the years. One year I did fall for it. They all like one of them said that there was like a mouse in the back of the room and I was like I am deadly afraid of like bugs, mice. Like I don't do that stuff. Like I'll literally like offer extra credit points in class. I'm like, who will kill it? Who will kill it? Who's gonna step up? And they got me good and we all like went running out of the class. And then I was like, wait a minute. I feel like such an idiot. So good one. Anybody else? Favorite day? Okay. Well, if you ever need a reason to celebrate, just look up that day and say holidays on this day. And I bet, as that website shows, you'll come up with some, all right? Because there's multiple things on any given day. All right. We're going to jump in and we're going to do two things today. So we're going to intro. I'm with you there, Eve. Yes. Christmas, birthday. That's awesome, right? Nothing like celebrating being on this earth another year, right? So, economics intro. So we're going to be looking at what is economics. So the rest of the year, we're going to be really kind of doing two things, economics and finance. Okay. And they are actually separate. They overlap, but they are separate. So financial literacy and economics are separate, but they kind of merge. Okay. So what is economics? We're going to kind of define that today. We're going to do a quick Nearpod. Explain, you know, it looks at the service industry, labor, credit, pricing, foreign currency, so trade, you know, interest rates, things like that. Okay, inflation. It evaluates the effectiveness of government policy. Are government policies helping the economy or hurting the economy? It's also going to look at the ebbs and flows of the economy. It's like anything else, goes up and down. What goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. And it's this constant ebb and flow. Most people kind of feel like we're in a downturn right now. You know, things have gotten a little rough. Housing market, interest rates are high, inflation, you know, things like that. But we've been kind of on a high for a while. So it's like this high, low, high, low. 08, 09, definitely lows. Okay. So it's normal to see ebbs and flows. And so it's kind of acknowledging where are we in the ebb and flow? And then how do we prolong the highs and shorten the lows, obviously, as much as possible. Nobody likes being in a down economy or recession. How does spending, production, money, all currency, all influence that? So definitely like going cashless and things like that. Like what influence does that have? So again, there's a lot of things that kind of fall under the umbrella of economics. Okay. So South Park, somebody, I forget who said something about South Park earlier, stuff like that. But yeah, I always love me a South Park gift. Okay, if I can find one that's appropriate. Some of them are not appropriate. I'm like, darn. So I gotta like sift through. Okay, we're gonna do a quick Nearpod. You don't have to register for it. I'm just gonna play it and we'll discuss the questions as we go along. Okay, and it's a crash course. All right, so don't worry about joining when the code pops up. So again, don't worry about joining. We're just gonna go through the video sort of together. Okay. All right. So here we go. So this is a good intro to what is economics and kind of
Miss Hall, you have no microphone. We can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have.
Oh, now we hear you. Now we hear you. Okay,
So
we're good.
We're gonna do the Nearpod. You don't need to join. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of pause it as we go along. Sorry about that. And stuff. And it's just going to give us kind of a good overview of what is economics. Okay. I apologize for the, why did this start it over? End session. Just a minute. Let me get this to start over. There we go. Whoop. Okay. Here we go. So kind of paying attention and getting the big overview of what is economics. Okay. So here we go.
Watching Crash Course Economics. It was made with the help.
Okay. I'm just going to have to rewind it. It's supposed to start it over. Did not do that for me. There we go.
I'm Jacob Clifford, and I'm the host of Crash Course Economics. Stan!
Dean, your co-host.
Oh,
All right,
awesome.
yeah. Woo.
Well, anyways, we're making our Crash Course Economics series at the YouTube space in lovely Los Angeles, California, because Mr. Clifford and I are both from Southern California.
Yeah.
Who are these no-names?
Where are the Green brothers? If there aren't any Greens, I'm unsubscribing.
How can you unsubscribe? What is this, some kind of a moving newspaper?
Did we just get heckled by the Muppets?
Sounds like it.
Hey guys, listen, don't feel bad about not being green, okay?
That's crazy.
Hi guys, listen, being green is great and everything, but being Adrian and Mr. Clifford, well, that's great too. And in fact, guys, it's not easy being green. I think I could sing a song about that.
Can I sing with you?
Of course,
This is a
yeah,
dream.
yeah,
This is a dream.
No. We can't afford the licensing agreement for that song, guys. Economics.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, okay, well, in that case, why don't you guys just introduce yourselves?
Okay. I'm Mr. Clifford, and I'm a high school economics teacher and YouTuber. I'm going to focus on teaching you the theories and graphs of economics. The textbook stuff.
And I'm Adrienne Hill. I'm a senior reporter for the public radio show Marketplace, and I'm going to focus on showing you the real world applications of economics. The good stuff, the really fun stuff.
Hey, we're both fun. We're definitely not going to teach economics like this.
Welcome to Crash Course Economics. I am thrilled to be teaching you this fascinating subject.
I'm sorry, Professor Honeydew, but that's why people hate economics in high school and college.
Anyway, Statler and Waldorf have a point. The most important question in economics is, where's John Green? I mean, everyone knows he won a bronze medal in economics at the Alabama State Academic Decathlon. Well, John Green isn't hosting because economics. We'll explain later.
So let's start with the basics. What is economics? Well, it might be easy to determine what economics isn't. Economics is not the study of money or getting rich, although understanding economics can help with that. Economics is not the study of the stock market. It's just not. And economics is not primarily about men in bow ties forecasting what will happen in a given market or the overall economy. Actually, a few economists do that, but that's not the main focus of economics. Economics is the study of people and choices. The famous economist Alfred Marshall defined economics as a study of man
And woman.
in the ordinary business of life. It inquires how he gets his income and how he uses it. Thus, it is on the one side the study of wealth, and the other, more important side, a part of the study of man.
And woman. So let's talk a minute about what else econ is. Economics is an 18-year-old deciding whether to work or go to college and how that affects her future income. Economics is a company deciding whether to produce smartphones or tablets and how that's influenced by what we consumers want to buy. Economics is the government deciding whether to increase its spending when there's a recession and if it's worth going into debt. So despite what you might think, economics is not boring and dull. Okay, some of it is, but it's not all like that. I promise it's awesome. Understanding econ can forever change the way you think and problem solve. Our job over the next 40 weeks is to teach you concepts that will help you understand the world and hopefully make it a better place. No matter who you are, you will be using economics.
Okay, what is economics? So put this in the chat. Is it the study of money and getting rich? A science that deals only with the stock market, the study of people and choices, or people predicting what will happen in the market? So what's kind of a general definition? Is it A, B, C, or D? Put it in the chat. What do you think? Okay, we got some C's. C's. Yes. Okay. Yes. So it's the study of people and their choices. So the example they gave of like going to college, so this is actually a really relevant example, right, for you as you're graduating. Should I start working? Should I go to school? Should I go to trade school? Like, so weighing the pros and cons of the cost of doing something versus how you will make money. Is the investment of going to school worth possible debt, given the career maybe that I would get out of that? And sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes it's no. Maybe you're not really passionate about it. Maybe you are, or maybe which school you go to or something like that. So there's a lot, or maybe which jobs you take or which industry you go into. Can I make a living eventually? Is there room for promotion? Can I progress? So those are good things to think about in building your lifestyle. So it's more than just money. It's the impact of your life and quality of life and ability to, make it in the big world. Okay, so let's keep going.
Economics. In fact, you are using econ right now. You made a choice to watch this video. That means you must feel that the benefit outweighs the cost. You might be thinking, this is YouTube. There's no cost. But sure there is. You could be watching videos of kittens or skaters falling on their face or Charlie biting fingers. Oh! The cost of watching this video is the video you're not watching. The value of the next best alternative. Economists call this your opportunity cost. If you're still watching this video, it means that you believe it's the best use of your time, or you wouldn't be watching it. But what if I'm watching this at school? You ask, what if I'm forced to watch this? Well, you weren't forced to go to school. You could ditch, you could drop out, you could move to a country that doesn't have compulsory education. But the cost would outweigh the benefit. Even if you are at school, you're not forced to watch the video. You could close your eyes or put your head down. No one's gonna pry your eyes open. That'd be creepy. Now let's talk about why John Green isn't here teaching this course. John is an entrepreneur. He writes books, runs DFTBA, Vlogbrothers, and Mental Floss, and creates movies, but he can't do everything he wants to do. He looked at the benefits and costs of his choices, and in the end, decided to spend more time writing books. So Mr. Clifford and I are jumping in to teach you economics.
And believe it or not, we just covered the two most important assumptions in all of economics. First, the idea of scarcity. People have unlimited wants but limited resources. And second, everything, I mean everything, has a cost. And if these assumptions are true, then we need a way to analyze our choices and get the most from our limited resources. And that's economics.
Okay, describe a situation in which you had to weigh the cost versus the benefit of the decision. So a lot of you are kind of coming into this maybe. So maybe it's going to be things like, again, what job do you get? Do you go to school? Do you travel? Do you go to trade school? But it can even be things like personal relationships. Is this person good for me? Are they going to enhance my life? Or are they going to bring me down? Are they toxic in my life? Or are they a good addition to my life? The friends and people that we surround ourselves with, and stuff. So this can be definitely a cost decision, but it can also be quality of life decision and how it impacts you and your ability to make it in the world. Okay. All right, let's keep going.
economics.
Wait, but let's go back to the idea of benefits and costs. About 30,000 people a year die in car accidents in the US. Is there a way to ensure there will never be another traffic fatality? Yes, we can crush all the cars, close the roads, and force everyone to walk. That would solve the car crash problem. Do you want to decrease the number of people convicted of murder? You could decriminalize murder. You want to end the unethical treatment of elephants? You could kill off all the elephants in an ethical way, of course. But before you decide to tenderly euthanize herds of beautiful elephants, think about it for a second. Each of these solutions is absurd because the cost clearly outweighs the benefit. Traffic fatalities are tragic, but we don't prevent them at all costs. You know that driving has risk, that you might get in a car accident, but you still drive. Why? Well, first, who's going to walk to the gym? And walking home with heavy groceries in the rain is way worse than the teeny tiny chance of dying in a car crash. The point is, individuals, businesses, and countries can't have everything. So they're forced to weigh the benefits and costs of their decisions and make choices.
Okay, what is opportunity cost? So provide an example. I thought they did a really good example of like driving or elephants, or, we can really, as you become adults and you're voting for things, there's going to be so many different things that are important to you. It could be healthcare, social issues, homeless, substance abuse, mental health, on and on, the economy, defense, so many different things. But the reality is that at what cost can we address that issue? And sometimes you can't do things to the fullest extent. Like example, it's so devastating when there's a car accident or something like that. So does that mean we just don't drive? How do we get around? So sometimes it's not as simple as just cutting something off, because the benefit, yes, often there isn't an easy answer. So we can do things to make us safer on the road, speed limits, car safety features, seat belts, airbags, things like that. But the reality is that sometimes there just is a cost. There just is a risk, and you can't not have that. All right, let's keep going.
Choices. Let's look at another example. Military spending in the United States is over $600 billion per year. That's close to what the next top 10 countries spend combined. There are a total of about 20 active aircraft carriers in the world today, and the US has half of them, and it's building more. The opportunity cost of those aircraft carriers could be hospitals, schools, and roads. So is the US spending too much on the military? Should the US focus on making guns or butter? That is, weapons or consumer goods?
And notice the key word here is or. We can't produce an infinite amount of weapons and consumer goods because we don't have an infinite amount of workers and farms and factories and raw materials. Scarcity means we must make a choice. The American president Dwight D. Eisenhower explained this best in 1953 in a speech about Cold War military buildup. Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those that are cold and are not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It's spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes.
Which of the following statements best describes scarcity? People have unlimited wants, but limited resources. Inexpensive products means more profit. There is the cost to every decision, or analyzing cost and benefit is important. Okay, that's going to be A, right? So there's, of course, nobody would argue that, of course we need better hospitals. Of course we need more money for mental health. Of course we need more money for on and on and on and on. Of course we need to defend our country. Of course we need to, right? All these things have importance, but the reality is our wants far outweigh the resources. And so at some point we have to prioritize, what is that? And that's going to differ per person. Okay. So not saying that, military spending is the best or it isn't the best, but just one example of, as you become adults and you get into more politics and things like that, everything's going to sound great, but the reality is everything has a cost, and the government and us, we can't afford everything. It's not possible. We can't do everything to the extent that we want. So it's about prioritizing. How can we handle this, to what extent? And anytime you say, well, we'll just put more money at it, that means our taxes go up. So at what extent, to what point do we want our taxes to go up? At what point do we have to keep money for ourselves to live? And at what point do we need to give money to the government to function? And these are all, again, there's no right or wrong answer. It's going to vary, but the reality is we can't do everything. We have to prioritize. And that could be different for different people.
Of his children. And this is a good time to mention the role of politics in economics. We're not pushing some liberal anti-military policy here. We're just pointing out that military spending has an opportunity cost. The resources not being used for social services like feeding the hungry. We're going to try not to push a political agenda on you. We're going to show you both sides and let you decide which one's best. So please don't say Mr. Clifford loves capitalism, so he's just a pro-business conservative, or Adrian's talking about environmental regulation, so she's an anti-business liberal. Yeah, we are pro-business, and you are too. I mean, where do you think your computer came from? That computer was brought to you by capitalism and the private sector. But that being said, the security and laws, roads, and that traffic ticket you got the other day came from the government. Conservatives and liberals fight over the details, but the free market alone can't solve all of our problems. And the government can't solve all of them either. Government officials use economic theories to guide public policy, and their effects are widespread and affect billions of people. Sometimes the theory is flawed, but many times the policy is flawed. Economists suggest policies based on theories supported by data and understanding of incentives. Having the right incentive is key.
But the right incentives can be hard to figure out. Take, for example, public colleges and universities. Many of them used to get state money for each student they enrolled. That meant universities had financial incentives to focus on recruiting as many students as possible, but not actually helping them succeed once they were in class. So states have started changing the incentives. Now, more and more states reward schools for the number of students that complete courses or earn degrees. And in some places, this has worked. It's helped schools increase their graduation rates by shifting money from marketing budgets to programs to help students do better. But those incentives can also backfire if they're poorly designed. A university that gets money for graduates could push students through the program without giving them a good education. It might want to admit only students who come in with super high test scores, instead of considering other factors that might make them good candidates. It might push students into less rigorous majors. But incentives can help solve problems without adding more resources. You just have to get the incentive.
Why is it so important to get incentives right when creating policy? So again, the example that they give is sometimes it can backfire. So when policies change, this can help, but it can also sometimes do harm. So the example of colleges, pushing people through. If I'm only being rewarded for who graduates versus recruiting, so recruiting, I might get them in the door, and then the quality of education, I might not focus on the program. So by switching the incentive to graduating, okay, that's great. So I'm pushing people through programs, but maybe I'm pushing people through worthless programs, okay, or programs where they can't justify the cost, or I'm maybe dumbing down the material, so that more people can pass, but I'm really reducing the quality of the education. Maybe I'm being too picky then who I enroll, because I have to make sure that they can graduate. So I'm not taking as much of a risk. Yes, it's a, any scenario, right, where it's this balancing act, right? Like where we need land to farm, but then when you farm land, right, or boundaries, like if you use a snake or any type of animal, right, you could be ruining their habitat. So to what extent do we need land to grow crops and goods and animals, but also we have to protect habitat, right? So it's this, you can't have all one or the other. We can't just farm everything, and we can't just protect everything, because then we won't have anywhere to grow food. So it oftentimes is a balancing act that we go through, and so exactly, yeah, you could take this really with any type of topic. Climate change, right? We're seeing that right now, where we want to go toward cleaner energy for sure, but can we actually support that? Can people actually heat their homes? So as we move toward cleaner energy, but the batteries and electric cars, those are terrible for the environment. So how do we come up with better batteries that don't also hurt the environment? So it's oftentimes, yeah, the electric car. So anytime you do that, there's the economic side of that, where people have to live, but so electric cars are not reality for everyone yet. We're probably a decade or two away from that in reality as we move toward that. But in the meantime, how can we be better about our fossil fuels and, things like that? So oftentimes it's a combination thereof. Plastics, great example. Yes, plastic, styrofoam, great example. Yeah. So the straw debate, you know what I mean? That can really get people going. I'm sorry, paper straws. Every time I go to California, I'm like, I took 2 sips, it disintegrated, but it's better for the environment. So finding that balance of what we can do to live, but also what's going to help the environment, Okay. So you guys get it. It's often not simple.
Is right. Many non-economists assume that the way to improve things like healthcare is to spend more money. Economists would point out that the U.S. already spends almost twice as much per person as other rich countries, and in many cases, they get worse health outcomes. Economists would also say that rather than spending more money, we need to make sure that insurers, hospitals, doctors, and patients have incentives to produce the most effective care possible at the lowest cost possible. The point is, if you mess up the incentives, the policy's not going to work. When Vietnam was under French colonial rule, the regime issued a bounty on rats to exterminate them, giving money to people for handing in rat tails. I guess because piles of rat bodies were too gross. The plan backfired. To make as much money as possible, the rat catchers cut the tails off the rats and released them, allowing them to make baby rats. The policy actually increased the rat population. It made things worse. We'll talk more about this idea of perverse incentives in another video when we talk about the 2008 financial crisis. Again. For now, let's go to the thought bubble.
Speaking of
Okay, we're going to stop there. I love their example, though, of, again, sometimes spending money doesn't always get you better outcome. We spend, did you hear that? We spend more on healthcare than other nations, almost double, and doesn't necessarily mean that we're getting all of the best outcomes. I feel this way sometimes about education. Ms. Carter might agree with me on this. So CCSD just sent out an email that if us teachers want, they'll get us business cards. So any teacher in the district can get business cards to help us recruit teachers. Do you know how much it would cost to get every teacher business cards? So they'll spend money on business cards for, let's be honest, nobody uses, who uses, business, some people might, but I don't know a teacher that uses a business card. Talk about waste of money instead of actually focusing on paying teachers better and things like that. If I have $1 for another, if I hear another, we're going to do this program or this, yes, as well as killing trees. And it's so ridiculous, So talk about wasting money. I could tell you there's just so much waste every year. We're going to do this program. We're going to buy this curriculum. We're going to buy this software. And the reality is they're getting away from what really matters, is teaching and recruiting and retaining quality teachers. If you retain and focus on what you have, you're going to have often a better outcome instead of throwing money at all these other things that really don't make a difference. It's just another program, but it's the same thing. And if I had it's so infuriating, so infuriating. So a lot of times, again, sometimes in education's a big one. People love to be like, we need more money. And I think we're honestly to a point where money is not the solution. It's the way they spend the money. There's a lot of money there, but if you look at the waste, there is money to pay teachers. There is, if we get rid of these programs and things that don't work. I'm not talking about like free and reduced lunch and stuff like that, but there is money. Or let's say not getting business cards for the teachers that we don't want. It's very infuriating. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to be using a program called Everfi for pretty much the rest of the year. Okay. And it's going to have lessons in it for economics and finance that we'll be doing, that you'll be completing, you'll be getting grades in. So we'll come together, we'll work on something, and then you'll go and you'll work on the assignment. Okay. So for today, I want to walk us through the steps of getting registered and making sure we know where it is. And actually it's an assignment in Canvas that you need to submit a screenshot of the page. So I'm going to show you where in Canvas you want to pull up. So we're going to go into our class and you're going to go to modules and you're going to be taking a screenshot of when you log in. And I'm going to show you how to log in here in a second. And we're going to submit it in module 9. So module 9 is just past the civics exam, okay? And it's located here right under the quiz. So 10 points for just showing that you registered for Everfi. So that's what we're going to do, okay? And this will save us a little bit of time next week. All right. So first thing we're going to do is you need to log into Clever, okay? So you need to get Clever open. or log into Clever. So when you log into Clever, okay, you're going to have all these different programs pop up. All right. And what you want to do is if you don't see Everfi there, then you can always search it right here. So you could put Everfi in and it'll come up. All right. So if you don't see it on like your district pages, then you can always search for it. Okay. So once you're there, you're logged in and you locate Everfi. See these hearts right here? That is how you can tag it as one of your favorites. And when you tag it as one of your favorites, you just click it. Then you get your short list of here's the programs that I use. So you don't always have to go through all of these different ones. So what I want you to do is locate Everfi and I want you to click the heart. Okay. Oh, it logged me out. Okay. And I want you to click that heart and save it to your favorites because you're going to be going into Clever every time we use this, and it's going to help if it's right there on your short list. So go into Clever, find Everfi, even Canvas, and you're going to highlight any of those programs that you use regularly, and you just click the heart. That's all you got to do. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to do is you go and you save it to your favorites. Okay. Once you've done that, then we're going to log in. Okay. So before we log in, why don't you give me a thumbs up, or let's do heart. Let's do a heart that you clicked the heart. All right. So click, show me a heart that you found it and you saved it to your favorites. Okay. So you logged into Clever, found it, clicked the heart for Everfi. Any questions? Are we good? Okay. Awesome. So once you've done that, okay, we're going to click on Everfi and you're going to log in. So you're going to use your CCSD credentials. So it could be like, so what you use to log into your email, to Canvas, to Clever. Okay. It's the same login information, your CCSD credentials. And actually it should automatically log you in. But if it asks for that, then it's your CCSD credentials. Okay. And once you're logged in, your name should be up in one corner and it should say Everfi. Now, yours is going to look a little different than mine. Because I'm the teacher, it's going to show, let me go to my courses or my classes. It's going to show all my classes. So your view is going to be a little bit different, but your name should be in the upper right-hand corner and you should be able to see the program.
Am I in there as a co-teacher or sponge or?
That's a good question. I am new to Everfi, so let me look into that, see about adding you. I'm sure there says an add teacher, so I'll look into that because yeah, that's something that's probably, I just set these up yesterday and it was my first time doing it. I was like, you know what I mean? Like when you're like, don't mess this up. But yeah, it does say invited teachers, so I bet that's what it is. So I can jot that down and
Just in case I have to go in there and help somebody or.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
lessons
No,
or
no,
something.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Okay, so once you're in Everfi, okay, then you're going to do a screenshot. So the way that we do that, there's a couple different ways to do it. It depends on what kind of computer you have. So I have a Microsoft. So the way that I do it is I push the control button, which is in the left-hand corner, that Windows sign, the 4 little cubes or blocks, and then print screen, which is F8, right? So I push all 3 at once, okay? If you have a different kind of computer or something like that, then you can always Google how to screenshot and put the type of computer you have and stuff, and then it'll show you the steps, okay? So once you're on the page, you click those 3, Control, Windows, F8, okay? And that should print screen. That should basically copy the page. And you want the entire page because you want your name and the Everfi. So when you submit this in Canvas, I can see that you're logged in. If I don't see your name and if I don't see Everfi, I'm not giving you credit, okay? Then the easy thing to do is to open up a Google Doc and paste it onto the Google Doc. Okay, so open up the Google Doc and then Control V and paste it onto that. And then I'm just going to make this shareable and I'm going to submit this in Canvas. Now, I had a few students say that they were able to submit the screenshot directly. I don't know. So to me, this is just like the safer way to do it, but you can try to do it directly if you want. So once you have it on a Google Doc, you can save it real quick. Okay, you just copy and paste it. That's all you need to do, but you see how you can see my name and you can see Everfi. Okay, so I want to be able to tell that you're logged in. Okay. And then make it shareable. So you can see my name, you can see Everfi, make it shareable. And then I'm going to go into Canvas and that Everfi register for Everfi. So this is in 9.1. Click on it. Now it's not going to give me the submission button because I'm in teacher view, but you're going to go to the submission button and you upload it and boom, and you get 10 points just for doing that. But it has to be a screenshot. Okay. So you can copy and paste directly, or you can upload the document if that's easier, whichever is easier for you. And you submit it right here in 9.1. Okay. So any questions? I'll give you a minute or two to get that done. Any questions? Anybody not sure what to do? But you log in, take the screenshot. You got to be logged in. So make sure that on that screenshot that your name and Everfi is showing, that it's clear that you're logged in, because that's what you're getting the credit for. If I can't see your name or that you're logged in, the Everfi page, you log in through Clever, but you screenshot the Everfi page. So this page, you screenshot the Everfi page. And then I put it on a Google Doc, but see how my name is there and Everfi, it shows I'm logged in. And then I'm going to upload this into Canvas. Okay, that 9.1 Everfi register for Everfi page for 10 points. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay, once you have that done, why don't you give me a celebration? Okay, give me a celebration. So you got the screenshot, you either directly submitted it or just put it on a Google Doc really quick and then uploaded it. Just make sure it's shareable. The big thing is making sure that you can see Everfi and then I can see your name, right? If you don't do a screenshot, if I can't see your name in Everfi, then you won't get credit. So this is an easy thing to do, but you also got to make sure you're doing it right, because it's an all or nothing. There's no like partial. You know what I mean? You either did it or you did it. Okay. Okay, yeah, so if you can't do it right now, that's okay. But then make sure that you get this done, or when you get to this, that this is what you need to do. It's technically due next week. We're doing our first Everfi assignment next week. So making sure you know how to log in, and then, for this, that you understand that it's a screenshot, okay? Okay. All right, any questions? Any questions? Yeah, if you can't physically do it right now or something, then make sure you get this done. I mean, this is obviously really easy. It takes 5 minutes. But the key is, don't do the Clever page. You get to it through Clever, highlight it, save it, because then when you log in the future, then it'll be right there and you can just click right on it and it'll take you right there. So you don't have to search for it. Okay. But the screenshot needs to be of the Everfi page.
Yeah. For some reason, it's not allowing me to grab that app for my teacher page at all.
That's weird. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try adding you today, and then we'll see. Like I said, there might be a little bit of troubleshooting with this. This is my first time using Everfi. I hear mixed reviews. Some people say, oh, it works every time. Some people are like, sometimes it does this, sometimes it does that. I'm like, oh boy. So it's going to be fun. So, but we will be in Everfi quite a bit. So we'll work on this together. Okay. So once you copy and paste and get that in, all right, then let me just kind of summarize the day and I'll let you go early, okay? The project was due yesterday. If you have not gotten this in, you need to get this in. We have 3 weeks left, okay? So you cannot afford not to do this project. We did task 1 through 6 together. If you need to go back and watch the replays, it's in live session week 5, live session week 6, right? There's the recordings in there and stuff. So we went over kind of intro of economics today. It's about people and choices, and that our wants far exceed our means, right? We can't do everything. All right. And that's just a life lesson, right? I want to do this, but sometimes I have to narrow down and prioritize. And that's just the reality of even our economy and our government. Our government can't do everything. We can't give free housing to everyone. Everyone eats, everyone has and military, and we don't have enough money for it. So we have to prioritize where we put resources or readjust. Okay. So maybe we have it here, maybe we move it over here. So starting tomorrow, we're going to start 9.1. So we'll look at the course arc and the notebook. We'll get that started. We'll work on that tomorrow and Monday. Fundamentals of economics tomorrow, Friday, 9 to 11:45 is small group. Nothing is due on Friday. It's a catch-up day. So again, I cannot reiterate enough. We got 3 weeks till the end of the quarter. If you message me 3 days before the end of the quarter and you're like, I need you to open up all these different things, it's not going to happen, because I've given these opportunities and I've extended everything 2 weeks, right? So you've had extended time to get stuff in. So you email me 3 days before the end of the quarter and expect me to open up stuff from a month ago. That's not going to happen. All right. You got to be on the ball. All right. So this was due yesterday, the project. If you didn't get it done, then get it done on Friday. All right. And get caught up and take advantage. Module 8, lesson 2 is open till Friday. So if you haven't done that, get that in and then continue working on the project if you haven't gotten that in. I've only gotten it from about a third of people. Okay. So there's a lot of you that still need to get this in. Okay. I will see you tomorrow. We'll start 9.1. Have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, stay behind. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow and we'll get started on elements of economics. Okay. Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye, guys. See you later.
Bye.